Yeah, I just barely named it prophecy in time, but yeah, I just essentially I wanted to talk about that 7 year old girl that died in the immigration. I mean, the thing we're dealing with is that the very fact that the Bible says in the book of Revelations, it states that this beast would rise, and this beast would arise and deceive the world, telling everybody to worship the beast that was wounded yet healed. And so, every time I see the American flag, I see a Nazi symbol because these things are horrible. How do you define a 7 year old girl? Like, this is like 7-Eleven. This is like a day of mourning. I honestly, I am mourning because the little girl is innocent. She's only doing what their parents tell her to. So the parents say, "Come on, we're going over here. We're moving over here." Border Patrol, immigration catches her, puts her in a cell like a criminal, a 7 year old. And those places are cold. I can imagine she's all by herself. She has a fever, and she died.
Who is she?
Died in the hands of the US government. Now, we're just gonna talk about something else to cover that up, to get the community to forget about it like it never happened, like it never existed. Like behold, look at all the snow over here. And like that problem's still there though. And it's just basically the Indian and cowboy war. But these things are very horrible. They're very bad. This is like the Nazis burning children, killing children. And it's not gonna end today. It's not gonna end tomorrow. Because the Bible says it. It says that it's gonna command all the people of the world to worship the beast that was slain by the wound and yet lived. So this is gonna keep going on, and it won't surprise me tomorrow if another uh 5-year-old girl dies in the hands of the border patrol because it's not gonna end. It's very horrible. So how do we deal with this stuff? The the question is, why am I here talking about this stuff? Well, I'm not just here talking about this stuff without any support. I know why I'm talking about this stuff and what support I have and why. Because I'm saying some of these things are very bad and wrong. That little girl should have never been treated like a criminal. She should have been let go. If you allow her, she would have been better off living in the streets of but that's how she died. I mean, see, because what we're saying is, look, in Mexico there can be children living on the streets and they can be taken to an orphanage, but in the United States we're not going to allow children to live on the streets. We're not going to put them in an orphanage because there's not any. The only orphanage there will be is a jail cell for adults. The reason of her death was she obeyed her parents and migrated to the United States. And that was her crime. But I still don't believe that a 7-year-old girl is a threat to Homeland Security or immigration. I still believe that the Homeland Security and Department of Immigration is guilty of murder of a 7-year-old girl. They should have just let her die on the streets with their parents, and then it would have been the parents' fault. But because she was under the guardians of Border Patrol, then they're the ones that basically killed her. And because they have the badge and they were only basically doing what their authorities told them to do, then it's not really their fault. And the political wise, that's how it seemed. But it is somebody's fault. It's it's really not the parents' fault. Anyway, Godspeed.